All right, we're here with Coach Wes Jones of the Hardin Valley Academy Hawks. Great finish to last season, and then the football never ends; it just rolls over, right? So, tell us about the off season and how things have been going since we last saw you.
Well, we had a good off season. Our kids have worked really hard for us, and they've put in a lot of work in the weight room. We knew we were going to be replacing a big senior class and having a bunch of young guys that we were going to have to get ready to play this season. So our kids worked extremely hard in the weight room this year, put on some good size, and we're going to be young going into this season. This senior class that we've got coming in this year, we've only got 14 kids in it, whereas last year we had 24 kids on on our senior class. So it's going to be a lot of new faces, but a lot of the same faces, so to speak. So it's been a good off season, been a good year. Got a lot of good work in.
Well, obviously with Gavin and Braden both moving on, tell us about the quarterback battle and how that's going, and then maybe talk about how you see the system looking, and if it'll be any different from last year, or if it'll kind of be the same thing.
Well, we're going to have a three-way battle through the month of July. We're going to open it up and let the guys compete throughout this 7-on-7 and then kind of tighten it up as we get into our scrimmages. But we had a junior, Grayson Vaughn, moved in to our school last year after the first of the year. And Grayson's a fantastic athlete. He's got all the tools. He just needs to get some experience at the speed we're going to play at in 6A football. A young freshman, and yes, I said a freshman, is going to be battling for a start position, Zach Acuff. And, Zach is just he is a big-time prospect. I think he could potentially be one of the better quarterbacks we've ever had in the history of our program. And then a sophomore, Jacob Smith, who played last year on our freshman team. We're letting those three guys kind of third the reps up and battle for that starting position going into it this year. And, we'll tighten down the reps as we get along, and whoever's successful, and hopefully we'll get a guy after that first scrimmage on the 29th down at Bradley Central that we feel like is going to be our guy going into it.
Awesome. Well, I noticed Aaron Dykes walking around here, and I told my producer that, and you may not comment to this specifically, he looks like he's worth about 5 wins, and I watched him at track over the summer a little bit, and looking for a big year out of Aaron, I would say. What are your thoughts on Aaron coming into this year?
I'm glad Aaron's on our team. That's my thoughts about it. He's a fantastic football player on both sides of the ball. He was dynamic last season for us. He's just went in, and he's right now one of the strongest players on our football team. So he's put the work in. He's ran on the track. He's doing the little things that he needs to do to be successful. He's got 11, 12 offers out there in front of him, leaving right out of today to head down and visit some schools in South Carolina. He's just an exciting player, and look for him to do big things this season.
Yeah, well, replacing a lot of the front seven on defense, you had several people, a couple of guys that are playing some college ball out of there, and tell me about what we've got to look for on the front.
Well, obviously, when you replace an all-state defensive lineman and a Division I linebacker in Tim Frizzell and Elijah Jones and all these guys and Rooklanders that just made plays after plays, the thing that you'll see is a lot of guys that were in the mix last year. We do have some experience coming back up front. Eduardo Martorelli has a chance to be a starter for us up front on the defensive line. He actually started a couple games for us and then started a little bit in the playoffs. And Braylon Jackson, he started the majority of the season for us last year, could be explosive right there. Nick Spencer's a returning nose tackle that played in about 10 of the 13 games as a starter. So we're bringing back some guys up front, and had a transfer, and Jalen Moore come in. Came back to us. It was in our program, then left, then came back to Hardin Valley. So we're excited to have him up front. And then, our linebacking core is really where we've got to grow quick. And that's, we see some guys in there. Luke Defer has moved down to the linebacker spot, and I think Luke will do a lot of great things for our program. Cam York, Colby Green. Those guys, Travis Griffin. Travis is he's worked extremely hard, and I think he's ready to be a big-time player for us on the defensive side of the ball up front. So we're excited. We're optimistic. We're young. We've got a lot of experience there. So we just got to continue to grow.
Yeah. Every time, I called the basketball games too, and it seemed like every time I saw Luke, he was just bigger and bigger and bigger. So interesting that you said he is moving down in the middle of the box a little bit there. Tell me about special teams a little bit. One of the funner parts that big enjoyment for me last year was watching Drew Foster just pound that football with his foot. That's a big loss. Tell me what we're looking like with the kicking game.
Well, Drew was huge for us. He's went to Morehead State. He's already on campus up there, playing for those guys. But I tell you, we've had a couple guys come out this summer that Grayson Vaughn, the kid I alluded to that's in the battle at quarterback, he's got a fantastic leg. He can boot the ball off the tee on kickoffs. And then Josiah Lambert, a guy that's never played football for us, but's got some soccer background that are going to be in there vying for that spot. So we're going to have us a kicker. Maybe not kicking it over to Food City this time, but maybe we'll get it like Hardin Valley Elementary or something.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, Coach. Well, thank you so much. I just want to say it was such a pleasure to cover the games last year, and it's just a great time, great atmosphere, great team to be around, and loved what you do. Filters all the way down to every kid on that team, and just thank you from me and from all of Hardin Valley.
Well, we appreciate you guys and the exposure that you give to our programs. I've said it time and time again with our football and our basketball, and then picking up baseball last year. These kids, the exposure that they've gotten and the excitement that was coming from your guys and your broadcast. So we're just thankful that you guys are involved with us.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's Coach Wes Jones of the Hardin Valley Hawks. Hardin Valley Academy with 2 playoff wins last year and their first home playoff game hosted. Looking for big things out of the Hawks again this year.